What's up, disc golfers? Welcome to Back the Box Disc Golf. My name is Cole, and today's video is my 10 favorite discs right now. Now, when I mean favorite discs, I don't mean most valuable discs. I don't mean best discs that I throw. These are just my favorites, and they all have reasons why. So let's get into it. So number 10 is the Infinite Discs Color Glow Chariot. What I really appreciate about this disc is that it is a neutral flying mid-range with fade at the end. So I can throw it any line and it'll land flat, and it'll never roll this way on Anheuser or spike and then roll. It's just a really, really predictable mid-range, and the Color Glow plastic is among my favorite in all of disc golf, really. And the Chariot, and don't tell anybody I said this,
it's the Glow MD3, but more affordable. Shh, that's our little secret, okay? You promise you won't tell?
Okay, cool. So the Infinite Discs Chariot is number 10 on my list, just because I love how much it flies, and I love the combination of the Color Glow plastic with the flight. Now, number 9 is the Infinite Discs Slab. And what I really love about this disc is this disc has taught me so much about tomahawks and thumbers. I really didn't have a tomahawk or thumber game at the beginning of this year, and getting a concrete slab, that really shows me, since the disc is so overstable, how I can affect the flight overhand. So especially for my tomahawks are better than my thumbers at this point, but the release angle this way changes so much for this disc, and this disc is bang on consistent every time just because it's so overstable. So if I make a mistake with this disc, I know it's my fault and I know what I need to fix, as opposed to the disc doing something unpredictable. Alright, number 8 is the Discmania MD4. And what I love about this disc is that it's consistent with number 10 on my list. So the MD4 and the Chariot have the same micro bead on the bottom. So the feel is incredibly similar, but they fly differently. So they feel the same in the hand, but they're very complementary. Where the Chariot is straight with a little fade, this stiff P-line MD4, the disc actually that I beat up in a video a couple months ago, is very flippy, so I can release it on hyzer and it'll flip and ride slowly. Slowly is what I wanted with a mid-range, and I tried all these different discs, the Sphia, the Goat, the Origin, and none of them turned slowly. They all kind of burned over or went straight. This disc just floats to the right, and it's money. And I also love the MD4 because I have a Metal Flake MD4 that's overstable. So with the same feel in the hand, I have flippy, straight with the Chariot, and overstable with my Metal Flake C-Line MD4. Now, number 7 is actually 2 discs, and they are the Roaming Thunder from Discmania, the Dana Vici signature disc. So I have here the Roaming Thunder 1, which was released in 2018, and the Roaming Thunder 2, which was released in 2019. And the reason I gave them one slot is because these discs truly taught me how same molds can be different. And I really owe that to them, and these are just beautiful discs. The stamps are some of my favorite. I have several of each of these, and they're great. I don't bag them anymore because frankly they're pretty valuable and I would hate losing one. But we can have a debate on whether you throw the collectible discs or not, but that's another video. Alright, number 6 is the Discmania Razor Claw Tactic. And this is on this list purely because it is my first ace disc. So that holds a special place in my heart just because I threw this on a little bit of a force over and it went in the basket on a short hole. And I will always keep this disc. This disc will never get sold just because it is my first ace disc. The problem with it though, and this is why I don't bag the Tactic anymore, I was searching for basically the whole year for a very overstable 4-speed approach disc, and this disc was consistently, especially on my forehand, flipping to flat and going too far. So I was looking for something that was glideless and very overstable, And this disc didn't do that, so that's why it's not higher on my list. So, fond memories with this bring it all the way up to number 6. And I spent that whole year searching, and I actually found this disc, and that's why it's number 5. It's the AGL above ground level discs Boabab. This is a stego without the bead, so it's very blocky in the hand, has this little rim on the top, and it's very much a lid, but this thing is overstable. It's sort of the 4-speed version of the Slab in my opinion, where no matter what I do, this disc will do the same thing every time, and that is be overstable and fade to the ground. So I spent time with the Zone, the Harp, the Tactic, the Entropy, and they were all too glidey for me, and what I wanted, turns out, was the Boabab. So I have a couple of these now. This is in my bag. It is one of my most used discs in the woods, just because I can throw it on Anheuser, and it still comes out of it and lands and spikes in the ground. So it's just a great disc, frankly. Everyone needs one in the woods. All right, number 4 is the Infinite Discs AZTEC. And I released a video on the AZTEC a little while ago. I think by the time this releases, it will be about a month ago that I released this video. This is a 10-speed driver that has a huge variance in stabilities, from the least stable being this G blend or G star plastic, all the way up to the glow metal flake. And so I can have 3 or 4 AZTECs in the bag, and they all fly differently, and they all have a special spot in my bag. So that's really why I love the AZTEC, and that's why it's number 4 on the list, because this one is point and shoot to flippy and headwinds, and then I have eye blend, swirly S, and glow metal flake, and they all fly differently. It's perfect. They span so many different shots just on that one mold. So instead of having 2 CD2s, something else, and something else, I have AZTECs, and that's it. It's made my disc choice so much easier. It's just, oh, I'll throw an AZTEC, and that's it. All right, number 3 is the Discmania FD2, this first run disc in particular. So first of all, feel in the hand, I think there's nothing like it. It is so comfy for me. I have slightly bigger hands, and this disc is low profile, flat, and the plastic is so grippy for C-line. Usually I associate Champion or C-line discs with being, I don't know, slick and really too stiff, but this plastic is so grippy and almost gummy, but it's still firm. I have another one like this as a backup, but this disc is my favorite disc in the hand to feel. It's so comfortable for forehand, and this disc truly taught me how to throw forehand. I'm by no means a finished product in that department, but I know that if I throw this disc flat, it will go straight and then fade at the end. So if I can make repetition trying to recreate that, then I know that my forehand release is clean and I'm throwing it consistently and not rolling my wrist, which is a big problem for me, and it's becoming less of a problem because I keep practicing with these. So number 3, the FD2. Number 2 is the Discmania Link. I started putting these, I think March was when I got my first set, and I haven't looked back, honestly. They are so good in the circle. They have a bead, they maintain their stability well, so I can throw them in any sort of wind condition, and they won't turn right because of the bead, and they'll always fade at the end. And I just feel like I have become a better putter learning on the Link. And at this point, I've been putting them in the circle for about 9 months, so I know what this disc is gonna do basically all the time. And it feels like an extension of my hand at this point, so I don't foresee myself changing putting in the circle up to like 45 feet anytime soon. I do have another disc that I'm starting to throw from 45, 50, 60 feet, and that's the Infinite Discs Alpaca. But in the circle, I trust nothing more than the Link. Now we get to my favorite disc right now in December 2020. It is the Discmania FD. This is a 7-speed disc that has so many different stabilities. I can bag FDs, AZTECs, and I could be happy with just those 2 molds. So from D-line all the way to the FD2, there's so many different stabilities in there. It's just the best disc out there in my opinion. And this particular one is the one that I've bagged the longest. It's just an S-line FD, so star plastic. It's beat to perfection. I can get point and shoot flights out of it at really any time. The FD is my favorite disc right now. And I will actually be putting out a video of my entire FD collection, so stay tuned for that. Okay, those are my top 10 favorite discs right now. What are your favorite discs right now? Go ahead and let me know in the comments, and we can start a dialogue and talk about discs. I love talking about discs, do you? Hope so, I do. Okay. For all of us, me, at Back of the Box Disc Golf, I wish you a good rest of your week, and I hope you get to play some disc golf soon. It's so much fun. Okay, bye.